Welcome back to the All Seasons channel. Beautiful spring day here in southern West Virginia. I hope that when you're watching this video it finds you healthy and happy. Hey, right now would be an awesome time for you to go down and click the like button. If you watch the video and you like my videos and you want to see more, please subscribe, ring that notification bell. But I tell you, when you're watching videos on YouTube, the bare minimum that you can do is just go hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps YouTubers out. All of us on YouTube, all this stuff helps. And if you like I say, bare minimum, go down and give us a like. If you like them, subscribe. If you don't, move on. But at least give us a like. That helps a lot. So today we are working on this Generac Q55G generator. If you've been watching my channel, you may recognize this generator. We worked on this. We worked on this last November. A gentleman just bought a used motorhome, and people we bought it from told him, the generator did not work, so they knocked a little more money off the deal. He had no idea what was wrong with the generator, so he called me to just diagnose the generator. Well, if you watch the video up here, you'll see that we got on site. It was a little low on oil. We put some oil in it. It did start. It had the old gas in it. You could tell it hadn't been started in a long time. It did start. Ran great. Sounded good, except it had a huge noise in it. The engine sounded okay, it ran okay, I should say, but it had a terrible noise, and it was not making power. So the gentleman didn't want me to go any farther that day. He was going to try and find a generator. We ended up finding a brand new Onan. We worked on it. We diagnosed this generator in November. End of March, 1st of April, Cameron and I took this generator out of the motorhome because the gentleman had bought a brand new Onan generator, and I was under the assumption that him and his son were going to build the new base and everything to mount the generator, and I thought they were going to put the generator in it. But anyhow, Cameron and I ended up going back last month, April sometime. We put the new Onan generator in for him, hooked it up, works fantastic. I asked him at the time, I said, what are you going to do with the old generator? Because it was just sitting out there in his driveway. Been sitting out there since end of March, 1st of April. And he said that somebody wanted it. So we called last week and said, hey, the guy didn't want that. I think it was his son. My son doesn't want that generator. Do you want it? And I was like, yeah. So I wanted to see what was up with it. So that's what we're going to do today. We're gonna tear this thing down and see what that terrible noise was, and then we'll determine whether or not it's worth fixing. I told the customer that if we end up fixing it with something simple, and I could sell it, I'd give him half the money. So he was cool with that. So yeah, I think I know what's wrong with this generator. I had one a long time ago that one of the pulleys came loose on the bottom. See, Generac uses a dry pulley or a dry belt for their generators because they use a vertical shaft engine, and the alternator generator is mounted vertically. So they just use a serpentine belt to, I guess that was what it's called. It's got the little V's, and they use that on the bottom to drive between the engine and the alternator generator to work everything. And I had one a long time ago that one of those pulleys come loose, and it was making an awful racket. We tightened the pulley up, and it was cool. And I'm kind of thinking that's what's wrong with this one, but we're gonna find out. So come on for the ride, and we'll all find out at the same time. First thing we're going to want to do is we're going to drain the oil out of it. Anytime you turn a gasoline engine, any other way except how it's normally operated, you really ought to drain the oil out of it. You can turn an engine, depends on which way you turn it. If you turn it like over on the carburetor, a lot of times you'll have oil come out one of the breathers or whatever, running the carburetor, getting your air filter. That can cause issues. If you turn it over where it's up around the pistons or something, you can get oil leaked by the piston rings, and then when you go to start it, it can hydraulic on you, cause issues. So just, if you're going to turn a gasoline engine any way other than its normal orientation, drain oil first. All right, well, we're going to let that drain for a little bit, and then we'll continue. All right, well, we got most of the oil out of it, so we're going to continue. In order to get that dry belt and pulleys underneath, we need to turn this up on its side. I'm turned up on the back side. It's got your air filter housing and all your electronic stuff over here, so we don't want to turn it over and set it on that. Just like so. Yeah, we just got a whole bunch of little bolts, holds this metal cover on down here. If memory serves me right, I think they're like 8 and 9 millimeter. No, make that 7 and 8. Two different sizes. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. So we're just going to get all these little bolts out. One of them's got a spacer behind it. This little cover over here, it's got one bolt in it around this exhaust pipe. So got to get it out of there too, so you can work this cover off around this exhaust. All right, let's see if we can get this cover off. Oh, got to get all the bolts out of it first. Missed one. At least one. Maybe more. Ah, that must be it. Got to get a piece of this exhaust off so that so we can get this cover off. When I took this generator out of the motorhome, I couldn't get the exhaust off this little nipple, so I ended up just cutting it off with Sawzall. Just because I knew this generator was not going to go back in that motorhome. Didn't know if the generator was any good anyway, so no big deal. If we were going to reuse it, we could have just cut the exhaust pipe off, got this off, and cut the exhaust pipe off, put it back on. It's been no big deal. But like I say, we knew we wasn't planning on using this generator for anything anyway. And it does come off. Like most Generacs, they're like Harleys. They all leak oil. Yeah, some remnants old mouse nest. Yeah, awesome. You almost always find mouse nests in these old things. Well, it doesn't appear the pulleys are loose. Let's let me get a socket first. I'm gonna turn this over and see what it sounds like. 30mm socket will fit on this nut that holds the flywheel on. I just want to turn it over and see what it sounds. Did I mention the oil looked okay that come out of the engine? So yeah. Move you back around here. Well, did you guys and gals see anything wrong over here? I don't, so I don't know. Get this belt off here so we can isolate the engine from the generator side over here. And you know what? Let's talk just a second. Some of y'all may know more about this than I do, but you know, this is called a generator, okay? But the main part of the generator, you know, you got two main components. You got your engine and you got the other part, which is actually an alternator, is it not? It produces AC, which is alternating current. So doesn't it make it an alternator instead of a generator? I don't know. Does anybody know? Answer? How about Darren from My RV Works? Can you explain this? Can you do a video and explain to people the difference between an alternator and a generator? Let's see what you got, Darren. All right, there's no tensioners or anything on this belt. The only thing you can do is I'd say you probably break that belt just trying to get it off. So the best thing to do is just get a pulley off. So we're going to try this one here, unless I've got puller bolts for this one. It's got places for puller bolts. If I've got bolts small enough to go in that, we'll pull that one off. I may not have any bolts for it. Oh, there we go. Okay, we got something to work with. And yes, I could have got the the pneumatic impact wrench out and got that off. But you know what? There's an impact wrench right there. I knew it wasn't going to be very tight anyway. So I'm going to have to leave that bolt in there to push on with the puller. And I've just got it's actually a steering wheel puller, but it works great for stuff like this. that pulley is not going to be that tight. It just goes on a tapered shaft. There's no, dang, the bolts ain't long enough. It just goes on a tapered shaft. There's no keyway or anything on that, typically, I don't think. See if these are long enough. Times like this, a third hand would really come in handy. That's all there was. They're not, like I said, they're not very stuck usually. There's no, it's just a tapered shaft. There's no keyways or anything. Even the homestand, even the Generac home standby generators uses the exact same setup. It's a different belt, but they use the exact same setup because their home standby generators also have a vertical shaft engine, and like I say, same setup. The engine runs through a drive belt and drives the alternator / generator. So let's see. Let's just, oh, there's our noise. Get you guys a little bit closer. Can you hear that? Wow. That bearing is bad. Real bad. Man. See if you can hear that. Go up here to the top. Yeah, it's definitely, that noise is definitely right there. There's no play in the, I mean, there's a tad bit of play in the, in that shaft. Boy, that bearing sounds rough. Let's see if, see if we can get this pulley off. Now I know for a fact I don't have any bolts small enough to go in this pulley, so we're gonna have to do this one old school. I believe that's pretty solid back there. I believe that's the bottom of the alternator case. Let's see what happens here. It shouldn't be very tight. We'll just be careful. Ta-da! Nothing even hit my toes. Did you see what I did there? I just drove a old cold chisel behind there, put a little bit of pressure on it, and then just shock it by hitting it, just hitting the pulley with a hammer. You can see I wasn't wailing away, I just smacked it. Oh. Yeah, there's hardly any play in that bearing, but man, she's rough. More mouse nest. They're everywhere. Well, that's as far as I'm going. This generator is out of a 98 or 99 model motorhome. So this generator's 22 years old, roughly. It's got a bad bearing. It was not making power. The bearing had nothing to do with the fact that it wasn't making power. So it's actually got 2 strikes against it. So not something I'm going to repair. I'm just not going to fool with it. I'm just afraid I'll have more money in it than it'll be worth. Because I mean really, if this thing was running, working perfectly, I mean, what could I get out of it? A couple $100 or something? I don't know. It's over 20 years old. So, if any of you either want it or know someone that does, if you're willing to come to Southern West Virginia and pick it up, probably just sell it for scrap price. So, if you're interested or know somebody that might be interested, tell them to get a hold of me. Not hard to get a hold of me. You can always just send me a message comment on this video, and I'll see that comment, and we'll get together, whatever. So we're going to end this one for today. So really appreciate everybody watching. Once again, please, if you like my videos and you want to see more, subscribe. Ring the notification bell. You'll get notification when I post new videos. Bare minimum, go give me a like right now. Be a good time to go down here and give me a like. We're gonna go down the road and we're gonna fix another one. No, not really. It's Saturday. I just tinkering with this. So, hey, y'all have a good day. Look, I might have to wash my hands. Have a good day.